Hello, welcome back to Dice Goblin. Today we're going to be talking about a story that I made almost 18 years ago, so it's a little bit of a long time, but it's been in my head since then. Just to give you a bit of a warning, it has some scenes that are pretty descriptive and pretty gruesome, and so if you're not comfortable with those, please feel free to click away. Otherwise, just stay tuned. This is a story of love and how some people can create a family. The story starts off with a man named John and a woman named Emma. Both John and Emma loved each other dearly, so much so that as soon as they turned 18 years old, they decided to get married and started to travel the world with just their cars and just whatever the road takes them. One of the incidents that happened during their travels was a love spat with another couple, and through the heat of the moment, both of them ended up killing the other couple, and the murder was quite gruesome, and they ended up getting caught shortly after, only to be sentenced to jail for 20 years each. During this whole time, they loved each other so much. So much so they've always thought about each other. They tried to send messages to each other as limited as they could. But throughout this entire 20-year period, they never loved another person, and their desires was as strong as when they first met each other. As soon as they both got out, they immediately went back together and started to live their life, tried to get their life together, deal with the system and whatever problems throws their way. And then they decided to have a family. Once they decided to do that, after months went by, they realized something was off, where they were trying and trying and trying, but nothing seems to be happening. And so they went to the doctors. The doctors told them that they have a very rare condition, that they are unable to procreate with each other, but they can do it with other people. So with that concept completely unacceptable to both of them, they decided that they were going to keep their love strong and that they'll figure it out. Maybe they'll go and get an adoption. And so they did. They went around to different adoption agencies, but due to their criminal background, it was nigh impossible for them to even get a single opportunity for them to potentially have a child. And so they decided to keep looking. They even went to illegal websites and illegal services where you could get like people from overseas and adopt them as they bring them in, and they're like, oh well, at least we can give them a good life here compared to whatever they were living. And so they tried and they invested their money. They paid quite a bit for themselves at the time, but unfortunately it turned out to be a scam and they lost all their money. Unfortunately, time passes, and when time passes, things start to build up and the frustration builds, but the most important thing is they have each other, and by them being together, that's what's important. And so they stayed, they endured through all their hardships, but they still wanted to create a family, and hopefully one day they will figure it out. Until about 3 or 4 months after the scam, a person who ended up calling the police saying that my neighbor's house stinks. And the police went in. They opened the front door. They found a man hugging his wife on his right side, hugging his daughter on his left side, standing up and towards where the front door is. Almost like somebody would pose for a family portrait, facing the front door, all of them dead. And the only reason they are standing is because they are stitched together and balanced by fishing line wires between their skins, attaching their bodies together and making sure that they are balanced enough not to fall. This picture perfect family had one of their members missing, a young boy called Peter. As soon as the police found out about this, a video surfaced on the dark web, a video that showed people sneaking into this very house, drugging all of the participants of this house, the people that lived in the house, words. But as they went in, they managed to bind the child and let him sit down on the side as he watched his family get murdered in front of him and are stitched together. And the entire time, the kid is crying in disbelief of what is happening and the hopelessness of the situation. Months pass. Another incident happened where the neighbor ended up calling the police, only for them to walk into this horrific design of the man standing in the front door. The head of his wife and the head of his son are on his shoulder. Their arms are on his side. Their legs attached to his bottom of his torso. And all of their torsos are thrown to the side. Completely discarded. And they looked around for evidence. They looked around for clues. They just couldn't find anything that could lead them to the killers. They know for a fact that it is connected because the same fishing wire was used. Then, as you move down, the next day, a video gets released. As this video shows the people going in, drugging all those people inside, and keeping a single little girl. This girl watched as her family got murdered in front of her, and their body parts are all over the place. Only for the video to turn around and shows a little boy, specifically Peter, who's jumping up and down with happiness, saying, do that, as he's guiding John how to put the body parts together. That's the end of the story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story. It's very gruesome, I understand, but feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Catch you around in the next video.